Hey guys, and welcome to a legendary showdown. We're back on Total War Warhammer 2 for a game between the Greenskins and the Wood Elves. Mr. Tefel is leading the Greenskin forces up against, I believe it was called Tater Tot, is his opponent. Two very competitive builds. Looking forward to delving into this one. Once again, guys, if you saw my last video, my voice may sound pretty weird. I am unfortunately very ill at the moment, so all future live streams and domination tournaments which we were planning have been cancelled for now. Those will be coming back when I'm feeling a little bit better, hopefully next week. But you know what makes me feel better? Watching some Greenskins and Wood Elves slap each other about a bit, so let's delve into this. For the forces of the Greenskins, we have Orc Boys and Goblins. They're going to be dotted through the main battle formation here in the front. And it looks like we have some Night Goblin Archers in the back. Unfortunately, no Rusty Arrows, which is rather surprising. We do have the 8-peak Loons in the centre, lovely little centrepiece. We have 2 units of the Savage Orc Biggins, a Goblin Rock Lobber, and some Stone Trolls in the back. Not bad protectors here. Should be able to smash any enemy cavalry, which comes after the little Goblin Rock Lobber. These things are so tiny, it is ridiculous. I guess it would still hurt, though, having a rock hurled at you, despite the smallest of the contraption. We have Triple Forest Goblin Spider Rider Archers on the left-hand side, a big pest in general in Warhammer 3. I often feel like Anakin facing these guys. I'm like, I hate you! And like crawl up some lava and cut their heads off. We do have a Orc Shaman down here on the low ground with Brainbuster and Gaze of Morg, as well as a Scroll of Shielding. And of course we have Grom the Paunch, as disgusting and, horrendous as always. So he does have his little goblin with him, and that's got to count for something. He's a top lad, a very loyal gobbo. For the forces of the Wood Elves, we do have some Glade Rider Spears. Looks like they're guarding the flanks currently. Dryads in making up the front of the battle line. We then have a load of Eternal Guard, including the Wraths of the Frozen Heart, and more Eternal Guard to help support. We have the Wild Hunters of Kurnos, certainly one of the coolest looking units in the entire game. Fantastic model design, and yeah, they're one of my favourite units of all time, particularly when I first got the game. I believe the Wood Elves had only just come out. We have Durfu leading the charge. Of course, Sword of Dave, Manticore Summon, and Flock of Doom shall be his poisons of choice. Blade Guard in the centre, as well as I believe somewhere, here they are, the Hawkeyes of DRAKIRA. They get used in a pretty interesting way in this matchup. In the latter stages of the battle, you definitely want to stick around for that. It is very cool indeed. So hopefully this battle shall get underway now in its full brutality. The Glade Guard are starting to light up on top of the Orc Boys. We do get our first big beam shot go down the line. It hits the Hunters of Kurnos, slaying one model, but that is about it. However, the rather nasty Goblin Rock Lobber can also start doing some pretty brutal damage. Frontline battle is well and truly underway. Dryads clashing against the thick shields and hides of the Greenskins. It'd be a good fun fight. We've also got Gobbos starting to push through, driving hard to try to get into the back line. Unfortunately, they're only going to meet the Wraths of the Frozen Heart, or Reefs of the Frozen Heart, I should say, and they'll cover up Gobbos like no tomorrow. We do have the Wild Hunters pushing hard on the right-hand side. Looks like they're going to slam into some Orc Boys, but also start to surround Grom the Paunch, which might be quite a nice little trap there, particularly if they get Durfu over to capitalise on this situation. Blade Guard continue to pound the enemy, but unfortunately for them, the Goblin Rock Lobber is unleashing hell. I like this formation from the Greenskins. You can see it's really staggered. It's buying plenty of time for their Night Goblin Archers to reign supreme. There are some Glade Riders in the back, but they are being carefully watched by the Stone Trolls. The Spider Rider Archers popping in the back, trying to shut down those pesky Hawkeyes, DRAKIRA, and Glade Guard. The Wild Hunters, though, do counter-punch, doing some decent damage, but likewise, those arrows are finding a home in Elvish flesh. Unfortunately, the Glade Guard are being compromised right here. We still have the Hawkeyes DRAKIRA floating out to the left, though. They're going to be dropping a few shots over into the on-rushing skirmish cavalry, trying to overwhelm it where possible. Very close game so far. It looks like in the back, the Glade Riders were forced back by a combination of Stone Trolls, Archers, and Savage Orc Biggins. Lovely play there so far by the Greenskin player. Orc Boys do slam once again with the War, fuel in their veins, popping on top of the Eternal Guard, looking to rip them head from the shoulder. And look at that glorious blood DLC in full effect. I really can't wait for that to be active in Warhammer 3. It's going to be very cool stuff. I wonder if it's changed a lot, but it's kind of the same. I know some people don't like the blood DLC because they feel like it's a bit of a tomato ketchup covering people, but I love it. I mean, it's all blood for the blood god at the end of the day. Big blob fight is going down here. Eternal Guard are fighting loyally alongside Durfu, who does come with a big fat Sword of Dave. We have the lucky banner go down, but Sword of Dave is so powerful. In combination with Flock of Doom, it can do so much work. It looks like the Manticore Durfu Dream Team are going to be trying to hunt down at Grom the Paunch where possible. And Grommy Boy not looking at the best situation right here. He rolls directly in the face of an elf, and the elf then gets exploded by Durfu, but it does look like it's working. Grom is certainly getting beat up. We have the Stone Trolls who were initially in deep reserve protecting the Rotlobber, moving forward to engage with the enemy. Likewise, Dryads are being forced off by Savage Orc Biggins. The back line has indeed been protected. Hawkeyes and DRAKIRA are now focusing down at the Goblin Rotlobber crew, doing some really lovely damage there. Should hopefully be able to drag down those artillery pieces quickly. One of them has already exploded. However, there's a sneaky little gobbo here with Gaze of... Gaze of Mork? Vindictive Glare, my god. I haven't played Warhammer 2 in so long, my mind's melting. Finds some shots in at the Hawkeyes, doing some decent damage, and they have been forced back once more. The Glade Guard is slowly peppering down the Orc boys, doing some nice work. Looks like the Ferromanticore has hopped on top of the Orc Shaman. Scroll of Shielding not enough to protect him, as well as the Stone Trolls are also being broken. They definitely need to be chased off the battlefield by the Tunnel Guard. If they come back in the late game, it could be disastrous. Somehow the Wild Hunters are still alive. It looks like they've been all over the battlefield. They took some initial beating pretty badly from the enemy skirmish cav, and they're now reaving through the back line, hunting down Grom and trying to force him off the battlefield. However, it looks like Grom may have fallen back. No, Grom has indeed shattered by the mere presence and died as the Wild Hunters of Kurnos ride him down like the no-good gobbo he is. In the distance, we have a bit of a weird chase scene. So we have Goblin Archers running away from Dryads, who in turn are running away from Goblins, as well as Savage Orc Biggins. This is a decent chunk of resource, though, which is being dragged away from the battlefield. And considering the Greenskins are in the moment kind of probably a little bit in the driving seat, they really want to consolidate their forces and overwhelm the Wood Elf resistance. Spreading out like this may allow Durfu to kind of carry the day elsewhere. Wild Hunters are doing a fantastic job breaking Night Goblin Archers, breaking Gobbos, and it looks like their main job today is to hunt down at the Archers, which I think is certainly a good use of their time. We're also going to get a nasty Flock of Doom coming in. That's a pretty brutal charge, despite the fact the Wild Hunters are low in number now, only 26 models. They are still brutal and ferocious. The lovely Brainbuster, oh my god, that decimated the Wild Hunters. That was so clutch. Where is the Orc who cast that? It looks like he's over here in the distance. Lovely play taking down those Wild Hunters, because they were a big problem, shutting down all of the range forces the Greenskins had to bear, and that would allow Durfu to carry. But with the Wild Hunters being forced back like that, that is beautiful play. Big fan of that coming in by the Greenskin player. Ferromanticore has been summoned, though. It looks like he's here to bring justice and vengeance for those dead Wild Hunters, hunting down the Orc Shaman and looking to finish him off as quickly as possible. Wraiths of the Frozen Heart, as well as more Dryads do moving on the 8-peak Loonies, looking to shut them down and overwhelm them with pure brutality. And if anything, the Dryads know it's how to be vengeful. And it looks like they are cutting up the Gobbo forces to avenge their fallen Elvish comrades. Although I don't think all Dryads and Elves get on particularly well, particularly Drydshire. Glade Guard are unleashing shots. The Hawkeyes and DRAKIRA, just 17 models, are on their way back into action. With the General gone, though, it's going to be quite a tough fight for the Greenskin. It looks like we still have those Savage Orc Biggins and Gobbos who are going to come back to the fray. And the Wood Elf forces are really beat up right now. They're kind of being carried by this summoned Ferromanticore at the moment, which is trying his best to break off the Stone Trolls and do some decent damage. He was able to force off the Shamans, but it looks like the Night Goblin Shaman was able to survive. Likewise, the Orc Shaman actually came back into the action. So it is a little bit Durfu versus the world. And yeah, the Stone Trolls are terrified here, so they do start to break. They're also taking significant damage from the beat-up Glade Guard, as well as the Hawkeyes of DRAKIRA. Should be able to do some decent long shots in. It looks like the Stone Trolls, are they shattered? It says they're terrified. I don't see their banner anywhere. No way did they shatter. Yeah, they completely shattered. My god, I guess they've been tear-outed one too many times. Glade Guard do get hit by a Brainbuster. They're not going to be enjoying that whatsoever. Balance power is slightly in favour of the Greenskins at the moment. With Durfu trudging around the battlefield, it's going to be a really hard time for them to take him down. They have the advantage, though, of those Savage Orc Biggins, who, of course, are going to be coming in and doing some pretty decent work in the late game to Durfu. Forest Goblin Spider Rider Archers just need to get their value now. Unleash all hell onto Durfu. If you drag down the Tree Lord of the rest of the Elvish force, will certainly shatter and break. But it looks like the Hawkeyes, DRAKIRA, and Glade Guard do a fantastic job protecting their Liege Lord here and force off and indeed shatter those Spider Riders. We do get a Vindictive Glare go down the line onto the Glade Guard. They did not enjoy that whatsoever. I did not blame them. Having a warbling mass of a war energy being kind of thrown at javelin style into your face is probably enough to send most people packing. It seems like somehow the Wild Hunters have returned. They have 279 HP, 120 kills though, and they're driving in wedge formation, looking to overwhelm and just fling up this Shaman back from whence he came, perhaps mistaking him for the one who cast a spell on them. But it's not even a Shaman, it's just a 8-peak Looney. That's kind of funny. This looks like the Shaman managed to do some trickery and teleport away there. So we still have the Glade Guard. They're very beat up. We have the Hawkeye's DRAKIRA, which are pretty key here still. Only 2 volleys left. That's still a decent amount of damage. Unfortunately, the Wild Hunters are indeed shattered and forced off. Durfu really is a tree standing in a tide of green energy. Only 60 models left for the Wood Elves, 374 for the Greenskins. And if we take an overarching view of the battlefield, there's not much for the Wood Elves to come back, whereas the Greenskins have a bucket ton of reinforcements, and more importantly, probably even more important than those Savage Orc Big Guns, is the fact we have Night Goblin Archers on arrival, and they have a decent amount of ammunition. They can really rip and tear in to the mighty Durfu relatively effectively. Big swing from the mighty Sword of Dave goes down, decapitating and severing limbs of the Savage Orc Big Guns. Many of them do get back up again, though, but Durfu cares little, screaming in their face, more come to die. The Glade Guard do flee. They've lost hope in their wooded friend, but Durfu, he's still going to be trudging forward, and he's a powerhouse. I actually like him quite a bit in this matchup, if you can protect him from the the constant stream of skirmish cav, which you normally expect coming in from the Greenskins. The Hawkeye's DRAKIRA are floating around. It looks like they're currently darting for the trees, which makes sense. Big shot comes in from the Vindictive Glare. Unfortunately, only clips Durfu. Not the most accurate from point-blank range, that spell. That was a Gaze and Mork, actually, I think, from the Orc Shaman. And Durfu is on the warpath, pushing through the Orc boys and really going after the enemy characters. Not a bad idea. If he can break the leadership, he can certainly win the day. And it looks like just his mere presence is not often enough to shatter Orcs and Greenskin morale in general, which is quite nice. Are those other troops on arrival? Looks like we do have 74 Savage Orc Big Guns. They're going to be crucial here in the action. They've got Frenzy, of course. They have Immune Psychology, going to help them against the Terror Routing, because that is a big problem for the Greenie boys at the moment. Bounce Power still loves them, but I think Durfu may be a little bit too tough to handle here. Only time will tell. And the Orc boys are desperately trying to chase off Durfu, who once again is beaming for that Orc Shaman. He's had enough of those pesky spells. He's probably going to have to stand and fight at some point, however. He just doesn't have the pace, it seems, to really catch up with the Greenskins effectively. And it's only right by more and more time for more Greenskin forces to move in and whittle him down. Looks like the Hawkeye's DRAKIRA being kept hidden at the moment in the trees. Not a bad idea, no point throwing them away. And who knows, they may yet have a role to play. Durfu gets in a big swing. Looks like the Orc Shaman is able to survive and flee. We're about to get a nasty Flock of Doom go down, though. It's just a basic cast, not an overcast. I think we've only seen one Sword of Dave. There we go. The second Sword of Dave goes down. That's going to be some brutal damage. Easy enough to break the Orc boys and Gobos. But the Savage Orc Big Guns will continue to fight, at least for now. And they don't really rely on armor anyway, but that is still some nasty damage. Down about a third HP from where they were. That is some rough stuff, and it actually looks like the Orc Shaman's broken one too many times, and indeed is shattered. And this is what I was talking about, the Hawkeye's DRAKIRA, the sneaky hidden reserves. This is actually a good example of tactical reserve play. They were hiding in the trees, and now they're going to push onto the Night Goblin Archers in hand-to-hand combat, trying to stop them from taking down Durfu, because they are the best damage dealers here to bring down our big tree overlord. They come in with a smoke bomb, lowering the speed of the Night Goblin Archers, so they have no hope to escape. And with their dual blades, they slice, they dice, they hack, and they rend clear the flesh from the bone of the Gobos. Looks like that's going to be enough to break them. That should allow Durfu to hold back, at least for now. But the Savage Orc Big Guns are causing him all sorts of problems. The Night Goblin Shaman moves in, coming for a big, glorious charge into the front. Unfortunately, gets forced back, tear-outed instantly, and it looks like the Hawkeye's DRAKIRA were able to slaughter those Night Goblin Archers, perhaps sealing victory for the Wood Elves. It's very tough to say. There are a couple of Greenskin units which could come back. No Wood Elf units, apart from the ones we see on our screen, remain. Night Goblin Shaman is broken and running. Can the Savage Orc Big Guns hold the line? If they were unbreakable right now, and if Durfu was unbreakable, the Savage Orc Big Guns would win this fight. He is looking very beat up. 1,500 HP, and there's still 54 Savage Orcs to deal with, but their frenzy will lose and go away from them here if their leadership is lower than 50%, which it currently is, so they certainly could indeed be tear-outed here. Hawkeyes are moving in for one last glorious charge. Only 11 models left, but it looks like the Savage Orcs actually get tear-outed by the might of Durfu. GG's, well played. Fantastic game by Mr. Tefel, and I was yummy. I think Tater Tot was on a different replay. I got sent in, I think, by Stormrunner, actually, which I may cast next week on the channel. It was a good fun meme game. But well played to both these lads. I think a crucial moment was the Hawkeye's DRAKIRA coming in there and saving the day by just slaughtering those Gobos in the late game. Beautiful play by the Wild Hunters as well. 1.6k value on them, nearly 1.7, and of course Durfu can then carry in the late game. I feel like Mr. Tefel did a fantastic job, though, protecting his range utility units. 970 value on the Rock Clobber was a real standout, but 670 on Night Goblin Archers is pretty cost-effective as well. 1.1k on Savage Orc Biggins, and there was some nasty Fnatic one uses as well, which I unfortunately missed on this cast. But they did get 1,000 value onto 8 Peak Loons. I love seeing Grom die, though. I said at the start of the battle, Grom and Greenskins Skirmish Cav still gets me PTSD, and I'm like, I hate you every time I see them. So my voice dying there a little bit. So I love Mr. Tefel. He's a really awesome dude. Sends in a lot of cool replays. Very awesome guy in chat. But it does warm my little secret Wood Elf heart when I see the Greenskins go down like this. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to leave a big fat juicy thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Both things help out massively. Feel free to comment down below what you thought of the battle, or just leave a funny comment. I really enjoy reading them all. And there's a load of links down below to Twitch, Patreon, and Discord. Twitch is where I do occasional extra streams. Patreon is where you can support the channel financially, and Discord is where you can submit replays and get involved in live streams and events. As I said at the start of the video, all live streams are currently being postponed, as well as all tournaments, until I've gone over this cold, basically, because I'm a bit of a potato at the moment, unfortunately. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Hope my voice kind of dying wasn't too unenthusiastic for you guys, and that it was still an enjoyable cast. Until next time, peace, and as always, stay awesome.